Welcome back. This is going to be a little different than usual, but I was starting to resurface some of my CDs and a couple DVDs from stuff that I've gotten probably the past, week, maybe a little less. But there's, of newer stuff, there's probably 15 things that can benefit from a buff resurface. So I went ahead and done one, which is Bratz Fashion Pixies DVD. If I remember right, that one's like 25 bucks. So that one cleaned up real nice. It had just like a bunch of minor scuffs all around the spindle. So I sprayed, and that's what I use it for. There's a spray, a little spray bottle about yay big. Sprayed it on there, just put it on 15-second run. It turned out pretty good. So then I put a little bit of the compound in one of these bottles on the pad and ran it for 30 seconds. Came out better than very good. And a CD by Billy Walker. Cleaned that one up. That one's good. And I was like, well, you know what? Might as well make a basic generic video kind of explaining. So is what I'm just going to do for this. This is Afrojack featuring Eva Simmons CD. Yeah, so there's gonna be a lot of cutting, so you're not. If I try it like that, so it's not so reflecty on all the lighting, you can see that it's not the best. So I'll run it through this, 15 seconds. That one needs more than that, but run it through this 15 seconds and kind of see how it turns out. All right, so that's what it looks like out of that. That is not using. That's just using a small drop of the compound. Then I'll just take my T-shirt or a soft cloth. They gave a microfiber, but that one left scuffs. So this is a real soft shirt that I have. And I can see that there's, you probably won't be able to, but there's all kinds of micro scratches up and down. So that will have to still be very good, and I'll just list it as very good with, surface scratches. There's nothing harsh or gouging in here. So this one I'll put in for maybe a 30-second spin now, and a little more of the compound, or I'll spray some of the spray on it. And see how that one turns out from there to see if it gets a little better. That's 2 spins then on one disc. This one's only like 25 bucks. If it was maybe 60, 70, $100, I'd want to clean it up as best as I can. So put this one in here again. Looks like it got a lot of the micro ones out. So to what I could see, there are still a couple worse than micro scratches. And there's one right down here that's almost gone now. So do that one. Well, that one's done. That one can at least get listed. It's probably when I have it right in front of my eyes, when I pull it out of the case when I'm listing, that's when I'll be able to determine if I'm going to list it as good, a bunch of surface scuffs, micro scratches, or very good, or whichever. It will not be like new, and it will not be acceptable. So the next one. So I'm not. This video is not going to be every single one of these. But it's 3 to 5 minutes per disc. So when I find one that's really bad, pretty evident, you can kind of see the change. I'll find whichever one is really, really bad, or the worst, which I have an idea which ones are. But I don't know if you can see that. But there's a pretty good marking over here, and one right here. So that is on this side of kind of this green crescent. Put in there. This will be a 15-second spin just to see on how well it cleans up that surface. And then I determine if it'll be a 30, 45, or a minute spin from there. All right. Where I put the dab at on the pad is going to align to where it's most scratched. So that way most of the compound is getting squeezed in those cracks that are the worst. As soon as this goes to press down. Now, is it 100% that it gets into all of those? No, but it's still one little added step that I can do to ensure a little better performance out of what I have. 15 seconds, let's go. All right, so I can still see the scratch through the result. It's right up here. Nope, my bad, it's right there. So I can still see that one in there and one right here. So I will take my trusty shirt. All right, so no micro. Well, there's a few micro. So this will get some of the better compound, and I will put it lined up to where it goes right here on the pad, and give that one a 30-second spin. I can still see one, but this is going to be able to be listed at least. Yeah, that's. You can see the surface, the small surface scuffs. So it's not like new, but it's still very good. And this is an interesting one because there's three, but there's three, and a couple of them that have sold, or the ones that did sell, were different dates. You can actually look at the pictures. There's different dates, so they vary from 20, I think it was 20 to like $40 for just one. So interesting find. All right, let's see if I can find something that's more beat up, so I don't have to. That one's pretty bad. It's not the worst. But it's cool in the gang. This one would be a good one to recover. That's going to be easy recovery. That's probably just 1 30-second spin. The raspberries. Raspberries. Pierce Terra, 1980s love rock. Todd Rundgren, I'll tell you what. Oh yeah, that one's pretty beat. A lot of Todd Rundgren stuff. If you find it out in nature, if you find it out sourcing, always look it up. Especially a lot of that 60s, 70s, 80s stuff. Always look that stuff up anyhow. But if you're just eyeballing real quick, you spot Todd Rundgren, you can just take it down and search it, in a minute later. All right, so here we go with the stuff that I took down from listings and I pulled from inventory, and that's when I made the first video about this. That day I buffed a bunch, but there are like 7 or 8 listings that I just never put back up. So when I do these, I redo all the ones I have done before, and I'll just put them on like a 15-second and look at them again, same thing, or just put them all on a minute spin just to get that deeper, better buff on 1 minute. And if they turn out good, cool, I'll list them. If not, then get put back on the stack and they'll get done again. So the worst one out of the ones here is Todd Rundgren. Oh yeah. All right. So this one I know will not benefit from just a 15-second spin. Well, I mean, it will, but it's not going to benefit me because it's not going to get enough in the. And I've done other spins of stacks before. Not only since I got this, I probably ran 2 other times, and that's why there's only a couple DVDs left. So I went somewhere and ended up getting a bunch more. It's like, I'll just trial run this, see if I can get this one clean. And sure enough, and if at anything, I just listed a couple of them at good condition. So I did those, and then the ones I'm doing now are recent buys. So I've used it enough to have still an amateur level of what I got to do to be less wasteful of the materials that I'm working with. So 15-second spin would still help, but I want it to go down even deeper. So I wanted to put it on a 30-second spin and see how much deeper it could be. I'm not saying any harsh ones to where it would be a 45-second and then a minute. So this is going to go 30-second and then run it for a minute. Put the better compound on it for a minute. All right, so I'm going to hurry up and do this since this is the focus of it, is to keep that disc warm and allow the compound and the pad to dig into the warmer disc and be more abrasive on a softer material. Notice the steam. So if you have liquid and you have friction, which is heat, steam. So I will wait a few, I can still see a couple scratches. So I will wait until the steam pretty much goes away. It should be gone now. Now I can put my hand on the back plate, and it is hot. So I know right now I'm not going to try to take the disc off, because then you have the soft disc, which is just gently repaired, trying to rebind. So if you have a deeper scratch, it's now trying, and this is just my brain working on the physics. Now the soft material is trying to rebind to make like kind of fill the crevasse that was in there, the little, and now it's going to be easier for it to meld together. And the look of the scratch and the scratch itself is now going to be smaller. Or to take it off while it's softer, and I start trying to clean the disc off while it's still warm, any of the debris that's on my shirt is now going to get caught in the little grooves that are on that soft disc, which is trying to harden back up. Right? So I just wait. And it's not hot, it's warm. All right. So that's what 30 in a minute did. So there's still some on here. For me to list it, I can still list it as good. If I run it through another time, it'll bump up. So this is one. I'll just redo that one. That's it on running those. Of course, not making a video stopping and explaining. I am doing a disc probably every 3 minutes. Because I have to take it out. If it's running a minute, I have to wait for that to cool down. I have to wipe it down. So it is a process. So 2 to 4 minutes, maybe, if I'm just pumping right at it. So I can go through a stack of 15 or 20, give or take. Typically, well, not typically. I've only done these now. This would be four times. Typically, it's only not even an hour. I wasn't measuring time last time I did it. I just know that I went through so many that take up a lot of time. So I'll be able to go through these on at least a preliminary, and then see if I can run them 1 to 2 times to be clean enough for me to get pictures and list today. Because all I did was sell similars today. Well, this morning. So I want to get more inventory up because it's still daylight, and I prefer using daylight for pictures. But that's a generic rant and a do of things that I do, kind of a behind the scenes look of just the hour, roughly now, for the couple of times I've done this, the hour once a week I take resurfacing and buffing disc media. So if you like what you heard, like what you saw, feel free to comment, thummy thingy going upward. Subscribe, share. Those are free. They take a second. It helps everything out. Appreciate it. Thank you.